How y'all doing? Oh my gosh. Y'all, whew. Okay, let's get into it. So, Mercury in retrograde. And then we just came out of a Mercury Cazimi, where Mercury and the Sun were sharing a degree, or really, really close to each other. And they're still about 2 or 3 degrees apart. Um, as I was journeying on the social medias, I saw that a lot of people were expressing how they felt on that day. This was about 2 days ago. So I guess when Mercury and Sun were on the exact degree, a lot of people were just going through it, including myself. And it just felt like a mentally hard day. And 2 days later, I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, that was actually a mentally cleansing day. When we see that the sun is tightly in relationship, like on top of, like joining, where two planets are creating one big energy, we see that the sun is bringing its purifying energy to that relationship, bringing its purifying energy to that planet. And the biggest theme I'm feeling right now is the cleansing of the mental space, right? The mental space is one of the biggest areas in our body, one of the biggest intuitive centers where we can get tricked. When we look at our third eye, the third eye is the center of illusion, and clearing through that and seeing things for what it really is, seeing life for what it really is. And I would definitely just say I've had a mini tower moment when it's come to my mental sphere, when it's come to the way that I view life. I feel like a lot of that is continuously cleansing myself from the social media world. And, one thing I would say, it's a good and a bad thing, right? In social media, you're able to create your own world, which is beautiful. And I would say one of the negative things is you forget the world that's actually around you. And, there's this one guy that's always talking on Twitter about how spirituality is about not getting tricked. And that's so true. And there's so many layers to that. I woke up this morning, deciding to have my herbal infusions that I created and my herbal tea blend that I've been working with. And just a reminder to get yourself on, your communion with Mother Earth, which can be in so many ways. Lately, I've really been enjoying the way of communing with Mother Earth through clean eating, through teas, through herbal infusions, like literally bringing Mother Earth into my body, because I am Mother Earth. Earth is all us, we're borrowing these bodies, and one day we'll have to give it back. So why not make the best of it, and why not treat it with love and care? That's another way we can worship, honor, and be thankful for Mother Earth. But spirituality is about not getting tricked. And, if we could just dive into the illusion that this earthly plane really is about. We talk about the ancient times, and I think there's this huge glorification of how the ancient times were. Most of us, especially on the spiritually led path, we think that it was more kumbaya back then, and that's definitely not the case, right? We forget the importance, and we just forget the history. And of course, there's That's how life is, right? The good is always with the bad. The good is always with the bad. And we see it in this day and age. And one of the things that I learned is, you know, when it comes to the good being with the bad, it's important for us to know ourselves. Because things can get very tricky. We have an example of being dedicated so much to the spiritual path that it can step on your personal power, right? So we see the glorification of, oh, the spiritual path, wow, and having these powers and having these gifts. And then on one end, that can be so great that it can step on our personal power. So what I'm basically saying here is bringing up analogies of the importance of walking the middle path, the importance of knowing to keep too much of anything is not good, to keep yourself on the middle path, and how I'm really big in talking about the impact social media has on our mindset, and how important it is, if you feel called, to just put the phone down and not be on it. It's all about respecting where we all are individually in life. Like, for example, there's so much talk on turn the phones off when you go to bed. Don't sleep with your phone in your bed. Don't sleep with your phone in your room, right? And for me personally, that doesn't affect me, but for someone else it may, right? So it's about exploring what's right for you, and it's about staying on this middle path. A friend of mine one day was talking to me, and they were saying how they feel like they're too cautious. Is there anything wrong with that? And I was like, you know, too much of anything is not the best. For me, I find when I ground into Mother Earth, like seriously ground, a lot of these downloads come through, and a lot of clearing comes through when it comes to my mental space. So a lot has just been hitting. I think all these retrogrades, especially Mercury in retrograde, has definitely just been hitting when it comes to like the cleansing of the mental mind for me. I was watching a video on Ancestral Voices. It's a YouTube channel. They also have an Instagram. And I believe the video is still up. It was about 2 weeks ago. There was a guest, Diane Love, this woman who's super into energy healing and is currently located by the Nile River. So she's just getting so many downloads of like the ancient times, and she's just, you know, doing her walk of life. And the video is still up. I recommend you guys watch it if you feel called, but it really just talks about the importance of grounding. I notice as I learn more and more, and as I release the things that I learned that no longer are for me, I realize the importance of getting back to the basics. And grounding is like that number one thing. We are constantly having out-of-body experiences. We're constantly having, I like to call them mental travels. We're constantly mentally leaving this current time. We're thinking about what happened last week. We're thinking about what may happen in a month. We're thinking about what happened 5 years ago. Right? There's stored emotions of what has happened to us in the ages of like 0 to 12. So many stored emotions and so many thought forms when it comes to that. we're always mentally traveling. It's like, how do we stay in this present moment when we realize that this present moment is the most important? I'm not gonna say this present moment is all we have, because we have all our moments. And let's be real here. We have all our moments, but this present moment is the most important, because this is where all of our power is. It's right here. You know, there's just something about doing the grounding practices and really connecting in with Mother Earth that sheds all. And I realize how there is so much information out there, and it's the beauty and the curse of the age of the Aquarius. There's so much information out there that when you really get to it and you really just find what's for you and throw out what's not for you, and the root of it all is literally the root, Mother Earth. And like, it's just so funny when we think of ancient Lemuria and these ancient civilizations that were so grounded, and though went through certain things, like ancient Atlantis went through certain things where humanity was able, like that golden age of technology being so helpful. It's like, where is humanity going with it? Is humanity going to make technology more harmful, or are we going to keep it in the helpful area, right? The helpful realm. It's like, what are we going to do with this power? And you just see how we're in that time again. I don't know, it baffles me that it's like the same cycles happening over and over again. And you know, this talk is that real, like, earth talk. Like, it's that real, sure, the sacred texts are beautiful, sure. Certain spiritual magic, and sure. But when we get back to the basics, I think that we remember the basics, the grounding. And how different would our life be if we literally just focus on the basics of grounding? We see how when we're not grounded, we fall into illusion. We see how when we're not grounded, we forget the basics. We see how when we're not grounded, we're distracted. We see how when we're not grounded, it's so much easier for us to get tricked. And that's the main vibe of this message. Because listen, y'all, this lady on this channel, aka me, I got a Mercury in Pisces, baby. So I could just keep going. And you know, very Uranus dominant. So I could just keep going, just start rambling, and sometimes forget to make the connections. If you just feel the flow, you feel the flow. If you could just ride this wave, you could ride this wave. So I'm just gonna cut this off here. And until next time.